watching television and something stung him in his pants. So we had to check it out. Got to make the grandkids safe. So, anyways, today this is about my space. Where I do all my creativity, my quilting, my piecing, my designing, whatever I do, it's in here. So this is actually a garage, a two-car garage that we converted into a room 20 years ago. And guess what? It's still not finished. But, quilting comes first. It's not the prettiest, setup or anything like that, but this is my space, and this is where I do my thing. So let's start over here. Got my coffee here, so let's just walk around. This is my ironing station right here. I don't do a lot of piecing right now, but I definitely am looking forward to doing that in the near future. So I've got my ironing station right here, and this is my design wall. And these are just a couple of my quilts that I have hanging up. This is my Elegant by Design. This is one version of it. This is actually the original version of of Elegant by Design. And I put my most important ribbons hanging up. So I have a few others too. In fact, I've got quite a few of them, but that's another story. I've got my pegboards here, and I just painted it this kind of a teal color. I love this because it's kind of a vocal point now instead of just a drab looking board. So I've got all my rulers, they're categorized. I got my straight edge rulers, my curved rulers, my arc rulers. So I have them kind of categorized. And I think I've got plenty of rulers right now. I do want to get back into designing rulers. I have designed one ruler, this one right here, and it's been a while, so I might get back into that. Got all my scissors and my rotary cutters, just, easy to see, easy to grab. My rulers, I don't have very many rulers, so for cutting fabric, but I do for long arm, and that's basically what I need. And I've got all my thread, and I have it categorized. I have my glide threads here. I've got my Omni threads and my Permacore. My Permacore threads are these forward that way. And those are the threads that I actually started out with when I first got into long arm quilting. But I found that I like Omni, and so I'm kind of getting a nice collection of Omni thread as well. So easy to see, easy to grab a color. If I'm looking at a quilt and I need a color, it's very, very easy to grab for me. So over in that corner over there, that is where I have my customers' quilts, and behind it is my storage. We won't go there. So it's a little messy back there, but believe it or not, it might look messy, but it is organized, and I do know where everything is. This is my cutting table that my husband made for me when I first got into quilting. I was using just a regular fold-out table before, and it wasn't high enough, so he built this for me, and I like it because it is quite high. I don't have to bend over. I don't use it a lot for cutting. I use it more for measuring quilts, because before I put a quilt on my machine, I have to measure it. I have to get the measurements of it. So I use it mostly for measuring the top and the backing, and then cutting the batting as well. All these little drawers right here, they all have something in them. Let's see, this is just elastics and Velcro. I've got my tools right here. Yes, I need man tools. So, yep, I do have a few of those. I have all my chalk for when I need it or when I teach. All my marking utensils. just a little bit of everything. I even have, let's see, oh, here are my crochet needles. So I have a lot of those and a few knitting needles. I do that as well. So I love my cutting table. On the other side are more little compartments, kind of like this, a little different. I have patterns in some in macrame, cording. This one here, if you can come over here, I'm going to, oh, and this table. Oh my gosh, this table is on wheels. Look at that. And they actually lock if I need them to lock, but I love that I can roll this table around. But over here in this dresser, I have all my yarns here. Now, some of these yarns are for crochet and some are actually for when I want to do couching on my long arm. I've got more threads in here, and this is just an old silly dresser. Got more threads in here, and then more threads. Oh, it's heavy. Let me do it with my, there we go. And I've got more threads in the other ones. So I have way too much thread. But that's okay, because you never know. You never know when you're going to need the right thread, right? So I don't buy a lot of fabric, but as you can see, I do buy a lot of thread. So, but hopefully in the future I'll be buying more fabric. All right, let's come over here. So this is my desk right here, and actually this is a desk that my husband uses, or my daughter, when I'm doing certain kinds of filming. They'll sit here with the computer, and as you can see, we've got the tripods and the camera set up, so we don't have to keep taking them down. It looks a little messy, but you know what? I don't mind keeping them up because I could never ever figure out which cord goes where. So it's good to keep them like this. I do have another tripod that I use for myself sometimes when I could film with my phone. This is my sewing machine setup, and I film here as well, and I also sew, but I will move anything that's on here if I'm actually sewing. All right, so let's come over here. This is the very first machine that I bought way back when. 2005, I bought this Gammill. It is not computerized. It is all hand-driven, and it does have a stitch regulator, but the stitch sizes are only 8 stitches per inch all the way to 12 stitches per inch. Not many there, but I have used this now for 20 years, and it's a good machine. It's a good machine, and I do most of my free motion. There we go. Free motion quilting, custom quilting on this machine here. So I do have a quilt on here, but I can't show it. So sorry. You'll see it when it's finished. So yes, and this is a 14-foot table. It's maybe a little bit larger than what I needed at the time, but I kind of went all out on that because I never knew what size quilt I was going to get, and it has worked out perfect. I mean, I've done a quilt on this table where on each side I only had about this much room on each end of the table to work with when changing a bobbin, which is something you really don't want. You want to have more space. But it's worked out really well for me. It is, like I said, it's a good machine, and it just keeps on going. So in 2000, and I want to also say too that I have a little nook here for this little nook is where I keep the bobbin winder for the Gammill, and all these threads right here that are on top are threads that I'm using in the quilt that I'm working on now. And then it's got storage, it's got a drawer with a little bit of supplies, and I don't even know what I have in here. It's been so long. We've got videos and books and things like that, but everything in this one relates to this machine. So I don't have to go hunting, for scissors or seam ripper or even a needle and thread to bury threads. So everything is here that I need for this machine. So let's step over here to this machine, and I have this table here, and everything for my Amara, my Handy Quilter Amara. I have my brush to clean out the bobbin, same that I have over there for the other machine, a seam ripper, little scissors, you know, little whatnot pins and things like that, the oil. So each station has what it needs for that machine. And I have the bobbin winder right here. And then this drawer is a little hard to open, but this is where I keep a lot of things too. That's very quick to grab. And then under here, let's see, I keep my pins down here, my extra bobbins, and I keep masking tape on hand because you never know when you get a quilt that it's going to have a lot of lint on it, and especially if the batting gets on it and it's a dark color background on the top. You can see the lint really well on the quilt. So masking tape works well for that. So I use the wide masking tape. So let's come over to this machine. This is my Amara. I bought this in, I think, I'm not sure, 2017, and been loving it ever since. It is computerized. But I can also do free motion on it, so I still get to have a lot of fun with the free motion over here as well. But don't get me wrong, because the computerized quilting is amazing as well. So a lot of times also I will sit on the couch in the house and I'll design a pattern for a certain quilt, and then I'll just bring that pattern to the machine and stitch away. So it's a lot of fun. And I mix when I'm doing some custom work for certain clients. It's like I'll mix computerized designs with free motion and that kind of thing. So, but I do most of my edge to edge here, and I do most of my edge to edge computerized. Over on the other machine, I do edge to edge as well, but I have a laser light in the back of the machine that I followed the design, and so for the larger quilts, I'll put it over there to do it. So this machine it's pretty awesome. It's got extra cords on it because of filming purposes. So most of them don't look like this, but it's a good machine, and I really like it. Now, the stitch the stitch length on this, there are so many more different stitch lengths. It's like I could go from, let's see here, I'm at 11 stitches per inch right now, and that's usually how I stitch an edge to edge, is usually at 11 stitches per inch. But I mean, if I touch this minus, I mean, it'll go all the way to 5 stitches per inch, and then it goes into basting stitches. If I push it this way, let's see, 24 stitches per inch. And that is a good thing, you know, because I do a lot of micro quilting. And so when you're doing micro quilting, you need smaller stitches. But I usually do it in manual. So on the other machine, if I set it manual, set the speed how I need it, I can still get smaller stitches that way as well. I'm going to put this back so that I don't start stitching at 24 stitches per inch. So that wouldn't be fun, because then I'd have to take out those little tiny stitches, and oh, that could take a long time. But I do have my seam ripper over here. So anyways, this is my area. And so now I'm going to just show you a little bit of what I'm doing here. This is an edge to edge design that I'm doing on the quilt, but this is totally free motion. There is no pattern with this. It is not computerized. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit my start button, and I'm just going to go, and I'm going to create the design. I never know which direction I'm going to go. All I know is that I need to change directions. So here we go. I'm going to just echo here and create another little teardrop. I call this teardrop meandering. I'm going to go sideways, and up in here I'm just going to do a little crescent and come out and echo. And I can echo 2 or 3 times. I'm not worried about making them all the same size. It's more interesting if they're different sizes. And I'll just do this all the way across the print. Just having fun. This is really fun doing it this way. Let me just finish this up right here, and then we'll stop and we'll go on. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there, and I'll finish all this later. But it's, you know, with practice, you can do this. It took me quite a long time when I first started quilting to actually do a free motion edge to edge pattern. I just kept saying I can't do it, I can't do it, and I kept telling myself I can't do it. So of course I didn't do it. But then I started telling myself I'm going to try it, I'm going to make myself learn. And when I finally did that, when I finally talked myself into doing it and that I could do it, guess what? I was able to do it. All you have to do is you have to relax and you have to watch where you're going. But you need to know how the design works also. And this design, as far as just making the teardrops and the echoing, this is probably one of the most simplest ones you can do because there are no flowers, no swirls, nothing like that in it. So let me do more. So I'm going to start right here where I left off. Come back around. I'm always looking ahead. Okay, so I believe I stopped right over here a while ago, so I've got this much I've done this much right here. I find too, doing it this way, it actually seems to be quicker because whether you're doing it by computer or you're doing it from the back of your machine following a laser light on a pattern, you always have to set it up. And this way, you don't have to set it up as far as space-wise when you roll from row to row. So when I get finished with this row, I'm just going to start. I'm not going to worry about anything, and I'm just going to, it's all about just filling the area. So that's mainly what I'm going to be doing. So just filling the area. Put a little crescent here, just to fill in the space. When doing an edge to edge, the whole quilt is considered negative space. So all you're doing is just filling in the area. All right here, I'm just going to come up I'm going to put a little one in here, a little teardrop, just to fill in the space. A few echoes and coming out. Have a little dip up here. Let me get this thread out of here. All right, so I always want to just end off the quilt. And so I'll cut my thread here, I'll roll the quilt, and then I always work from left to right. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.
That was great. More